101.5 ESPN are brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison. Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or visit metrokiaofmadison.com.
What's better than cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand? Cheering for the Packers with an ice-cold beer in your hand that you got for 10% off. And when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank, you get even more. Like 10% off food and 10% off drinks on game day. Like that ice-cold beer in your hand. Plus 15% off Pro Shop gear. Only with Packers checking. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
They better get season tickets right now because before long, they probably won't be able to.
It's all about the Badgers.
Don't flinch. The greatest coach in Wisconsin history is on the air.
It's over. The Wisconsin Badgers win 17-9. They are the first Big Ten team ever to win successive Rose Bowl games.
Live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, this is the Barry Alvarez Show on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
What are your emotions right now? Just like the old days.
Alongside Rose Bowl champions Derek Engler and Tarek Saleh, here's Jesse Nelson.
The season finale of the Barry Alvarez Show on 100.5 ESPN Madison, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton for one final time for the 2025 college football season. Alongside the Rose Bowl champions, Derek Engler and Tarek Saleh. We're going to have to squeeze again this week, fellas. I don't know how we keep ending up in this position. Alongside those two knuckleheads and alongside the Wisconsin Badgers legend, former director of athletics and, of course, head football coach Barry Alvarez joining us remotely. My name is Jesse Nelson. This is the Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison. Guys, our season finale. Feels like just yesterday we were getting set in August, looking ahead to the Wisconsin football season and the college football season as a whole. And here we are crowning, as everyone expected, the Indiana Hoosiers, undefeated 16-0 national champions last night over the Miami Hurricanes in a thrilling 27-21 victory. Let's talk a little bit about last night's game and the national championship run for Indiana. Coach, let's start with you because I think your perspective on this will be super interesting to hear. We've lauded how amazing the turnaround has been for Curt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers all season long, even going back to last year. But now that it's complete and seeing how they celebrated last night with the Heisman Trophy winner, with wins over Ohio State and Alabama and Miami and Oregon en route to the championship, this was truly a remarkable run for the Indiana Hoosiers.
What a great job he's done. You know, Indiana is not known. It's a basketball school. Now we can say it's a football school. And for him to go in, I coached at Notre Dame, so I coached in the state. You maybe have a handful of Division I players in the state. So consequently, he's got to go out of state recruit, identify, and then convince players to get there. And it's not been an easy task for football coaches in Indiana, but for him to do what he did, to win a national championship in football in Indiana is just I'm speechless to explain how difficult that job is. In a basketball community, basketball state, not a lot of football players in that state. To win a national championship is unbelievable.
And it wasn't like they snuck into the field, guys, as one of the lowest seeds who happened to kind of play their way in at the end. Like, they were the number 1 seed. They beat Ohio State head-to-head in the Big Ten championship game, and they'd never trailed in the college football playoff. 145 minutes they played with the lead. They never trailed in all of their playoff
Obliterated
games.
Alabama and Oregon.
It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
No question.
A remarkable run for Curt Cignetti and the Hoosiers.
You know, the culture that he built is special, and it reminds us a lot of what Coach Alvarez built when we went on our run in the 90s. And it's special, and they it's just a great group there.
Well, Coach commented on this and how difficult it is, especially at a school with nothing but a losing tradition in football. I saw some stat that they were 126 out of 130, whatever, two schools winning percentage-wise, and going back like decades.
When Cignetti took over last year, they were the losingest program in college football history.
To do that in such short order, but also what's most impressive to me is to do it during an era of transfer portal, but yet still have the evaluation to really understand character, right? And not necessarily, it's not money first. We're not going to go chase stars and shiny objects. We're going to really evaluate to the best we can. Does this kid want to work and play football? And that's the group they had. I've never seen a more cohesive team in a long time. And to do it in, like I said, this era with transfer portal NIL, I mean, that's amazing. This is a story, a sports story of lore. I don't care what sport it is. I mean, it's amazing. I was really happy for Cignetti and Indiana University and all.
Well said. Well said, Derek. And you know what? He wasn't out there flashing a lot of money around. You know, we've been through some of the programs where guys are going out and buying a lot of players. Naturally, in this day and age, players are going to get some money. But it wasn't like he was out buying players and them coming to Indiana because he paid them more money. I think it was more him getting players, solid players, and him developing players and doing a great coaching job to get in that position and to win a national championship. Because I'll guarantee you, he didn't have better players than the teams he played down the stretch. That guy outcoached him. And that's what was impressive to me.
No doubt. Yeah. And, Mark Cuban was their big supporter. He, if you follow Mark Cuban, he's a value guy. He's not going to go spend money, to Coach's point, and just go, hey, whatever, we're going to buy people. First of all, Coach Cignetti sold him to be a supporter, and then his strategy was to buy value, culture, and build the right type of guys that fit in the program. And, Mark Cuban alluded to that before the game. And he was like,
Cuban believed in Cignetti, number one, and that he would find the right guys and coach them up. To Coach's point, what a job. What a job to develop, create that continuity with really a lot of new faces, new teammates, but have core guys, understand what it takes. And it all starts with that quarterback. Is there more of a team player, hard-ass, tough-minded, you name it, get hit in the chin, bloody the lip, I'm going back out there. I get knocked out in I think it was Ohio State Big Ten Championship. 1 or 2 plays later, he's back on the field. That's the guy. That's a dude.
How about that 4th down run that he had last night for the touchdown? That was
amazing.
Incredible touchdown run for Mendoza. And let's not act like
Tarek and I were fortunate enough to play with a guy with the same type of physicality,
Yeah,
mental
absolutely.
toughness, so on. It just not the talent. I love you, Mike
No,
Samuel.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. I would say Bevel was equally talented as Mendoza. Same type speed, 5'4" to 40 probably. Weak arm, but a good leader, and knew where to go with the ball, and knew how to win. I put him very comparable.
Yeah, I agree with you. I on Bev, I agree with you, Coach. As far as all those,
Well, you're thinking about Sam.
I was thinking about Sammy, Mike Samuel. Yeah.
Well, that's a different story. Sammy's tougher than all. Tougher than everybody on that field last night.
Absolutely.
I guarantee you there's no other show in America today comparing Francisco Mendoza to Mike Samuel and Daryl Bevel in the first few minutes of its show. The Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison. That's why we need a 6-month hiatus coming up here after tonight. So anyway, let's not pretend like Indiana didn't spend any money this year. Like Mendoza was one of the most coveted players in the transfer portal during the offseason. They did spend money to go out and get him to improve a team, but remember they didn't. It's not like Cuban
spend
was
your money on a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yes, but it's also not like Cuban was lining up ready to spend the money last year, which is another part of this story. Cignetti comes in and in the first year instantly snaps his fingers, and Indiana's a playoff team last year on the road at Notre Dame playing a tough first-round game. That was an incredible run. They've lost one game outside of the playoff, one game in 2 regular seasons that he's been the head coach there. It was to Ohio State.
But he's not bringing – I mean, these are guys, they brought James Madison.
Bunch of transfers from James.
You had 7
These are his
four-star
guys.
guys. 7 4-star guys.
Yeah.
Every other team's got 50.
Well, Tarek says James Madison should be in Division III. Remember, they shouldn't be anywhere near the playoff.
Well, no, they just need their own. They have their own.
I think we should all take our hats off to the job that Coach Cignetti has done.
Yeah.
You can talk about the transfers, you can talk about anything else. There's nothing else to do but take your hat off and give credit to a guy that's done a phenomenal job, maybe one of the greatest coaching jobs since I've been in college coaching. I mean, to take a team like Indiana, think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
To win the national and to go win it, not be voted in. They won it. And so that means your guys are matching up with the other cats. And just couldn't be more impressed with a job that someone's done in that team.
They didn't back away, Coach, from their identity. Despite Miami, man, they had one mission, and that was to hit Mendoza. We don't care if we're taking penalties. They got lucky because the flags, they let him play. And, I mean, the kid got hit. I mean, that he could have been ejected because that was a targeting right to the chin after. I mean, all of that.
No, I didn't think it was to the chin. I thought it was shoulder to shoulder.
Well, they should have had you in there as the rules analyst last night on the ESPN.
Well, either way,
Coach.
either way, Miami was they did a hell of a job. Miami this year.
They did.
They were physical.
Yeah, no question.
And Indiana didn't. I mean, they just said, you know what, we're still going to pound the rock. They didn't. I mean, even though those guys inside too were. I mean, they were beasts. And they were making plays too, but they kept pounding it. They stayed true to who they were all season.
Miami obviously had more money. Go ahead, Coach.
Well said, Derek. And that's what I think some people, when you watch championship games, some people all of a sudden think they have to a coach has to do something special when they get to the championship game to win that game. And you just said it best. Both of those teams stayed with what got them there. And the best team won because they did it better. And that was impressive to me. Because you see a lot of teams change what they want to emphasize. They want to get slick, and coaches want to be smarter than the other guy when you get to championship games or championship week or the Final Four. And a lot of times it blows up in your face. But
discipline is a
Indiana
reflection of the
did not
head
do
coach
that.
too, right? Discipline is a big factor in that. Miami was one of the most penalized teams in college football. Indiana, one of the least.
And
those penalties cost Miami.
Coach, I think you'll agree with me. The common denominator in these teams is that offensive line. Coach Cristobal, he was an offensive lineman, so he emphasized that. Miami always has a lot of skill, right? But what changed that culture there is having that offensive line that's going to be physical, dominate, and just like what Bob Bostad at Indiana, the way they built from that inside out, I think that's the recipe for success, is building that offensive line and getting after it.
Yeah, I agree. That's well said, Tarkus. And a good point about Cristobal being an O-line coach and what he emphasizes. If you're a head coach as a lineman, they're going to emphasize toughness. You're going to have a head coach is a quarterback. They're going to try to out-finesse you. That's just kind of the history of the business if you watch it.
And if you got a coach who's a former linebacker, then you're a bunch of badasses who are just going to hit you in the mouth. Right, Coach?
I'd agree with that. We would. You want to start with that? You would like to start with that?
Yeah.
No, your opponent knows that they're going to get butted. You're going to get butted in the face.
The way that game turned out, that's a reflection of these two coaches, right? Their identity. And you got Jason Taylor coaching up the D line on Miami. We know what they're about. We know they got 2 first-rounders, hunting down the quarterback there. And you got Cignetti, and you got their offensive line, and they're going to stick to just what I said. They're going to stick to what they do. We're going to pound the rock. We're going to set up the pass because we got a quarterback to deliver it. And he can make plays with his legs. Like Coach, he's not that fast, but he's an athlete and he's tough. It just was a great national championship for a college football game.
That was one of the best ones in a long time, I thought, last night. Indiana wins it, and they finish off a perfect season, 16-0, to become national champions. First time they win a football national title in program history. Congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers, and 3 straight for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Ohio State, SEC. Michigan, Indiana.
They're on an even playing field
How about that?
Uh-huh.
They're on an even playing field now. Welcome to fairness.
The NIL and the transfer portal does a wonderful thing for balancing out this, everything across the country, it would appear. So congratulations to Indiana on winning the national title last night. The turnaround for Indiana, obviously, it hits home for us here at Wisconsin because we want to see the Badgers turn things around here with Luke Fickell coming into next season. We will bookend our finale here of the Barry Alvarez Show this season by looking back and also looking ahead. One thought on looking back on the Badgers season and one thought looking ahead for the 2026 Wisconsin Badgers football program. We'll do that coming up live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. It's the Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison.
Don't touch that cocktail.
I'd love to coach a game like that.
Oh,
They
man.
may not see a pass in the second half. I'd run that clock. That game would be over. We'd be home having cocktails at 3:30.
Coach will be back after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. Still going. Lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
The most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the Executive Director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly opened Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Want your own Free Food Friday from the Hut? Tune into Wilde and Tausch this Friday from 9 a.m. to noon for a chance to win 2 free large pizzas and 2 free orders of wings at select Pizza Hut locations. Perfect for a speedy lunch, a relaxing dinner, or anytime you're on the go. Head to pizzahut.com. That's pizzahut.com or the select Pizza Hut locations to enjoy your own Free Food Friday. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Conference play is here, and every game at the Kohl Center matters. Wisconsin men's basketball kicks off its Big Ten home slate, facing Ohio State, Michigan State, Iowa, and more. Grab single-game tickets to be a part of the action, or elevate your game day with premium seating, including all-inclusive food and beverage, and the best views in the house. Big matchups, Big Ten intensity, the Kohl Center is the place to be. Get your tickets at uwbadgers.com or 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Your New Year routine just got a major refresh thanks to Carbless. Staying mindful, Carbless has 0 sugar and 0 carbs. Watching calories? We've got you covered. Still want something bold and delicious? Well, that's our specialty at Carbless. Whether you're out celebrating or settling into post-holiday goals, Carbless keeps things light, fun, and completely guilt-free. Start your 2026 with flavor and no compromise. Celebrate the new year with bold flavor, 0 guilt, and a drink that keeps things light. Happy New Year from Carbless. Let's make your new year feel flawless.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Say don't want nothing, but you look better on me. You look better on me. Let me show you something, so you don't leave you lonely. You won't leave you lonely.
Tell me, baby, who better for you? Season finale of the Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison at Roots Chris Steakhouse in Middleton, alongside Rose Bowl champions Tarek Saleh and Derek Engler, and of course the legend Barry Alvarez. My name is Jesse Nelson. You guys enjoying our royalty-free music that we are playing now as we come back from our commercial?
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love our music. I don't know who's doing that music. I love it.
That's producer Riley out back at the Everlight Solar Studio as he's been
Riley.
all season long. We appreciate
We're giving you a lot of love, Riley.
Shout out to Riley being part of the ride here all season long with us here on the Barry Alvarez Show. We're at Roots Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Come on out, sizzle, swizzle, and swirl happy hour going on every night here at Roots Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Perfect for a date night or any occasion. Just because we won't be here on Mondays and Tuesdays throughout the course of the season doesn't mean you shouldn't be. Come on out, Roots Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Have a drink here in Coach's Room where we've been
most weeks this season. The Horseshoe Bar is fantastic. Of course, great dining area as well. Lee and the whole team here, they are fantastic at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We appreciate their hospitality all season long over the last 6 months.
Amen, 100%. I was telling Lee, walking in here, it's just really inviting, and you just want to, sit down and have a cocktail and obviously enjoy the food. It's great atmosphere, great place. Good stuff.
Barry Alvarez Show here on ESPN Madison. So let's reflect now as the college football season has come to a close on the Wisconsin Badgers. Both one thought looking back and one thought looking ahead. So transfer portal, the Badgers obviously very active. We've covered that pretty well and extensively over the last couple of weeks. It seems like with the season ending with a couple of victories and field stormings at Camp Randall Stadium, then that loss to Minnesota kind of soured everybody after building some positive momentum. But in the portal, seems like momentum is starting to pick up again. Feels like the vibe is getting better for Badgers fans looking ahead at 2026 with a more reasonable schedule to try and navigate. So, guys, let's start with you, Tarek, then Derek.
Okay.
One thought before we look ahead for Badger football.
One thought or one word?
I like, well, you can do one word or one thought, whatever's easier for you guys.
All right.
I like the exercise of one word, but I understand it's a little more nuanced than that sometimes when it comes to Wisconsin football. One thought looking back on the Wisconsin football season.
Well, I'm going to go with half glass full here. And when we came back and we beat Washington and we beat Illinois, and then we tried to, Minnesota fell off, but I like the way they came back and they fought through adversity. So I was really excited about that and, optimistic. But then right now, looking forward, my thoughts going forward, I worry about culture and I worry about building that offensive line. And if we could do that, they made some really good additions, right? Guys that you think could be players. If this new coach could come in and bring this new offensive line and recreate that identity again of being physical, just like we saw in Indiana and Miami and other teams that emphasize the offensive line. That's who we are. That's how we do things. I'm confident that our defense could recover, and we're going to play good defense. The question is, can we be a great offensive line, build around that, and move forward and get back to what we're all about? D-Rob?
Yeah, my one word would just be disappointed. I don't think that's – pretty much for everyone would probably say the same thing, obviously.
Looking back.
Despite looking back, I think despite the schedule, you dropped that horrific loss to Maryland, who I don't know if they won another game after us. To lose to your rivals like Iowa and get blanked by Iowa by 37 points. Iowa doesn't score 37 points in 3 games sometimes. So, it literally – that and then Minnesota, the Axe, that's really disappointing. You flip just 2 of those games and, at least we're bowl eligible, right? I understand the schedule. They played Michigan tough on the road, but that was a down Michigan team this year. I just – in your third year as a head coach, you expected more. Obviously, the Longo experiment that brought things back. I just thought we would see more, and especially in the games I mentioned. So it is disappointing to me. That being said, we haven't gone to the looking forward yet.
Yeah, let's hold off on looking forward. First,
shoot.
Yeah,
I skipped.
You skipped the line. That's okay. We appreciate
awful.
your efforts anyway.
Sorry about that.
Coach, if we said one thought looking back on the 2025 Wisconsin football season, what would your one thought be?
Yeah, I think Derek hit it right on the nose. I couldn't. What I would have said, he already covered it. It was disappointing, particularly when you play rivals and you're not really as competitive as you should be. Sometimes I wonder if this current group understands the rivalries that have been established over years, not with me, but before me. I had to learn that. That Minnesota was a big rivalry and there's more put into the game. I learned from Jim Huber, who was a coach at Minnesota, who I ended up hiring, and he told me, Coach, do you know what they put into that game coming in to play Wisconsin? I had no clue. I just took them as another game. But all of a sudden you realize that some of these games are special, and you have to put more into it. And so I hope this staff understands that, and maybe no one has informed them of that. And I'm hoping maybe by us saying this right now that they can get that message.
Yeah, it'd be nicer to see them perform well in those games that feel like they have a little extra emphasis next season, Iowa and Minnesota and the like. Now, they did beat Brett Bielema in Illinois in home on senior night and stormed the field afterward, and that was the penultimate game of the season. And that's where things were really starting to feel good. That was, 2 wins over Washington and Illinois that were really good top 25 opponents coming to Madison. Those were big wins down the stretch of the season. It did get a little, bittered, I guess, by the loss and the performance against Minnesota on the road to close out the season. But you felt good about those victories at the time. And so that felt like there was positive momentum. And now we head into the offseason. We see the portal, and the team's been active, and it seems like they're identifying positions of need and players of that they're desiring to bring in that are coming in, including Colton Joseph, the quarterback, transferring in from Old Dominion. So, guys, one thought now looking forward. Tarek,
I have more than one thought.
Yeah.
No, this is the second one.
Second thought. Okay,
yes.
Tarek gets a second thought. Then Derek, Coach, you get to share your first thought.
Pretty
I guess,
smart
huh?
guy. No, I think I think going back to getting these guys to come together and play as a team is going to be it's a struggle, right? And this is a whole new world now. Now, they basically brought in 27 guys, and you got to get 27 guys to all get on the same page with some of the guys. The other 60 guys you got on your roster, and I think it just goes back to to culture and building that cohesiveness. And I think going back to Indiana, Mark Cuban was saying, hey, when you go out and spend money, you've got to do it strategically because everybody knows what everybody's making. Okay, so I know that all of us would be asking each other what we're making, and if you got 2 guys that are if you have a left tackle who has been established or better, and you bring in a right tackle and you pay him more, there's going to be animosity. So I don't know how they're doing that, but they have to make sure that they have that in order, and then they got to bring all these guys together and build a culture, build that identity. They got 2 linebackers who are really good, but they're young. So I don't know if the older guys are going to listen to the younger guys. So they have a lot of different things they got to deal with in order to go forward. So it's a big challenge.
Well, I'll stick to your one word.
I appreciate that, Derek. Thanks for playing by the rules.
I know, thoughts, man.
I'm a deep thinker, man.
The stream of consciousness just keeps flowing.
He's passionate about his school, and I appreciate that about him.
I would use I'm anxious for a lot of different reasons. Number one, being a former offensive lineman, knowing what that unit means to really the core and foundation of what we do here at University of Wisconsin. I'm reading a lot of quarterback, running backs, the DBs we've got, D linemen we've got. That's great, but I know we got a couple offensive linemen. I think only 1 or 2 were starters. There's a project from Arkansas, a young kid. That Ole Miss tackle wasn't starting. There's a reason he's leaving. He's huge, but I don't know really what we're getting, and so that's why I'm anxious. I think overall, I think there's going to be an upgrade personnel-wise, obviously, but I also know that we lost a lot of key core guys, incumbent Badgers that transferred. So to Tarek's point, the culture, the locker room, that's going to be on Coach Fickle and his staff to get that right. However they go about that, it's super important because if you don't have that, you just got individuals out there. That's not how this game works.
All right, now, Coach, the big one we've been looking forward to. What's your one big thought for Wisconsin football here heading into the offseason?
Well, this is the job of the coaches. This is why they call you coach. This is a job for the coaches. You've got transfers coming in. You've got new signees. You've got basically a new team. Really, you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
With all the new guys, they have to be able to create a team and build uh, build a sense of team within that group. And that's not easy to do. That's why, that's why there are only so many guys that are winning championships. And so I put it on the coaches. I think it's on them to put this team to, put this group together, get them focused, and get them on the right track. Because it appears to me that, our talent and our people are capable of competing in the league, and that's what we want to see. That's what everybody wants to see, and that's what they want to see. So, um, let's put this group together and 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 get them focused on being a team that we can all be proud of.
So I love that you say that, and you guys have all mentioned that when it comes to Indiana. It's not just about the money. It's about building a culture and being a team and having that entire team mentality going into a game with Mendoza leading the way. So, Coach, the rules were different. Obviously, it was a different time in college sports altogether, but when you came to Wisconsin, you did that. You built a team and a culture, and you established what this proud program became for multiple decades. What would you look to do this offseason if you were there leading this team? How would you go about building a team during an offseason so that they come out of the gates ready to go next year?
There's nothing I could tell you in the rest of this show that would explain what I would do, and I think these guys would verify that. But it's about having a plan that a staff would understand and that you could communicate with your team and the guys that came in. Once you had everybody together, of what we're going to do, what our goals are, and how we're going to accomplish those goals, and what we're going to do in the off season, going into spring practice, then we go into fall ball, even before you start the season. This is all these things we're going to do, and we're going to push you. But there's a reason for that, and this is our final goal, and this is what we want to accomplish.
And now, go ahead, Tar.
No, now we're kind of going into pro football almost, right? We get these big salaries.
It's more like pro football than ever before.
But you look at the franchises that are successful over time, like Baltimore, Green Bay, the Patriots. And the Patriots had a little lull. They build culture and they build team and they do things the right way. Unlike Dan Schneider and Jerry Jones, right? They buy the biggest guys. They think that they're going to buy their way to a championship. And as Coach was alluding to earlier, you can't buy your way. It's just it doesn't matter how much money you have if you can't build culture, you can't build the identity and a plan to move forward. Evaluate the talent, bring in guys who are both have talent and have the intangibles to lead the team. So I think that's the way you approach this thing.
There's a lot of ways that really really good head football coaches can go about this and creating this team cohesion. A lot of it's done internally in that locker room amongst the players themselves when they are in winter off-season strength and conditioning, when they are in summer strength and conditioning. Those are really when the players. Now, outside of that, coaches can go a lot of different routes. In the NFL, Jim Fossil had a long talk. He was friends with Dick Vermeil, and what Vermeil did with St. Louis, to the greatest show on turf, he would do things like have team bowling outings or golf outings or barbecues at his house, and just to bring your wife, bring your kid, bring your families, and really get to know each other off all that work that you do together, because that's really where the bond's created. But then there's even more of a personal attachment there, and Fossil did the same thing. We did a river cruise in Manhattan. We did a pizza party for some deal outside in his yard. I mean, there was stuff like that where we could really, create other, interpersonal relationships other than just on the field and obviously working out together and everything else. And I think coaches can go about that, and they really have to, because it's like we talked about. It's a new team every year.
And did that matter to you guys as players?
Yeah, 100% it did. 100% it did.
Because I think it's interesting. Like we're hearing coaches' perspective on building the culture. We hear Luke Fickell has a press conference tomorrow. He'll also be appearing on Wilde and Tausch at 10 a.m. on Thursday this week.
Oh, my.
ESPN Wisconsin.
Oh,
yeah.
boy.
So we're going to be hearing plenty from Coach Fickell throughout the rest of this week. And there's again excitement.
What's your
that's
first
building.
question? What the hell were you doing the first 3 years?
I am not going to ask him that. I am probably not going to ask him anything. I'm going to be producing the show, making sure that he's on camera. Let me ask you this. So he's meeting with the media tomorrow in a press conference setting, and then he is joining Wilde and Tausch on Thursday. What would you like to hear from Luke Fickell that would help you feel good and optimistic about what's to come for the 2026 Wisconsin football team?
I'd like to know, who's going to lead this team? Who are your leaders? Who's going to set the standard for going forward?
Okay.
Who are the leaders? Great question there, Tarek.
Yeah.
That is a good question.
Finally, I got it.
All season
I've been
long.
all season long and wait for that bell to ring. Finally, Riley.
Ta-da!
I'm going to fire you.
Give him a double ring.
Did that.
It's a season finale. Everyone gets a ding today.
Give him a double ring, says Coach. All right, give him another one. Keep them coming. Coach, if you were in Coach Fickell's shoes and you're coming back after, we talked about looking back, it was a bit of a disappointing season, but you feel optimistic about what's to come for the new team that you have, the new leaders that are going to be in place for the coming season. What message would you want to be sharing with fans and supporters of the program here this offseason?
I'd want to send a message to the fans, but the message I would send would be to the players first, because the players are going to listen. They're going to hear the message you're going to send to the fans. So you have to send a message out there to your fans that your players hear, that you're confident in them, and you feel you like the leadership. You like the direction of where the team is going and where we're going to be next year. But to me, it would be more important what the players heard than what the fans heard. Because they're the ones that have to perform. They're the ones that have to believe it. And those are the ones you have to sell.
Yeah.
So that would be my message.
I mean, if I'm in Luke Fickell's shoes, before this press conference, the one thing that I would be telling myself is be more definitive. Be more definitive. You lay out your plan and your goals. Not necessarily what you inside the halls, but to the media, to the fans, they want something more concrete. Nothing vague, nothing. We don't want to hear about. I mean, obviously we have money. That's why we're getting players, right? But however that happened, we got it.
But how'd you evaluate those guys?
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear
Yeah.
about. Oh, the schedule looks better. That's all I keep hearing about. Guys, we got Notre Dame. We got SC. We got. By the way, Michigan State. Did you see their donor? You don't think they're coming loaded? And Fitz is a good coach, so they're going to be loaded up. You got Iowa on the road. You got Penn State on the road. I mean, we got some. It's tough to win, and it's even more tough now in the Big Ten than ever.
Coach Fickell,
no bells.
No bells for Derek. Only bells for Tarek.
I thought I would have gave you a bell.
Yeah.
You know what, Derek? I thought that was the strongest statement of the night, and I am very upset that we didn't hear a bell or two.
Well, you get a horn. The whole band he gets. Yeah. So those are some of our thoughts here, looking back and looking ahead on Wisconsin football. Coach, I want to give you kind of the last word here on Wisconsin football, the state of the program here as we head into the offseason. The college football season comes to an end last night with Indiana winning the championship. Everyone points to Indiana and says that's the model. That's proof that any team can snap their fingers and have hope to turn things around.
Your fingers.
And, I mean, I heard Mark Tauscher saying it this morning on Wilde and Tausch, our show in the morning from 9 to noon. He was saying, what's great about this era of college football is that no matter who you are, Indiana is living proof that you can go from the doldrums, be the losingest college football team
buy
ever,
any of that, by
and
the way.
instantly make the right change, and you're winning a national title.
That's not how it works.
So,
yeah, hoop-de-doo.
Cignettys out there? Well, I mean, what?
Coach, you go ahead. You were about to chime in.
No, I think Indiana gave a lot of alums a lot of false hope. It's not easy to particularly if you're a losing program. All of a sudden, and Indiana was a losing program for a long time. But all of a sudden, you get one guy in there, you have a year. All of a sudden, there's some magic wand that you can get there, throwing money around or Cuban money around or whatever. That just doesn't happen. So it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes money. It takes patience at times. But I like the direction our program's going. I'm not going to talk about college football as a whole, but I like the coach we have in place. I like the direction we're going. I think we have a chance to be where we want to be.
Hey,
there it is.
I'm going to give it a little analogy here. Aaron Donald, right? He's like 6 feet, right? One of the best defensive linemen ever.
It's fantastic,
right?
yeah. Hall of Famer.
Well, now there are a lot of coaches out there thinking they get to put a 5'11", 6-foot defensive lineman out there, and because he's twitchy, all of a sudden he's going to be a great player. Well, that's not the case. Aaron Donald's a unique, special individual who put a lot of work in, is extremely strong, unbelievable flexibility, and all those types of things. Same like Indiana, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that went into winning and what they did, and it's just not snap your fingers and like we're just going to build this unbelievable culture and bring all these pieces together. So it's hard, needless to say.
Yeah, remember these are all 3-star guys. They had only 7 4-star guys on that entire roster. 3-star and below.
Can I be honest? I thought that was Tarek's best analogy of the entire season. And you've given us a few dandies out here. That was a good one.
Yeah, well, I prefer Riley's credits than yours. You have no credibility. Just kidding. I appreciate it, man.
That's
Thank
fair.
you.
All right, here I was going to say something nice for you in the final segment, but instead I'm going to find something to throw in your face.
I'm going to get a hug. I'm going to get a hug, man. Come on. Yeah.
We will come back on the other side. We'll wrap up this season of the Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison and a couple of lingering questions, including for a former Badger who could find a new job in this state before the next couple of weeks are done. We'll talk about that coming up next to close out this season of the Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison.
The Barry Alvarez Show continues after this on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. Looking for new windows and doors? Visit sidingunlimited.com or stop by our beautiful showroom in Madison.
Breaking news on ESPN Madison is presented by Metro Ford and Metro Kia of Madison. Find the Metro family of auto dealers online or see them in person on the east side of Madison today.
Doug Brown is Assistant Executive Director of the Dane County Humane Society. Doug, your organization has business technology from James Imaging Systems. Today, we'd like to hear about your mission.
At Dane County Humane Society, we believe that everybody deserves the unconditional love that a companion animal can bring into their lives. We take pride in working with our community to help people help animals.
How so?
We are proud to offer services for adoptions. We're proud to help lost animals find their way home. We're proud to be able to take care of the injured and orphaned wildlife of the community.
How can others lend a hand to help the Dane County Humane Society?
I'd encourage anybody who is interested in helping to visit our website where they can learn more about the organization, including ways to volunteer, to donate, to participate in a special event.
And the Dane County Humane Society's website is?
GiveShelter.org.
One more time.
GiveShelter.org.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
It's all about the green and gold and nonsense on Kyle, Brust, and Nordman.
What is the main ingredient to pesto?
Dude, man.
Wow, this is bad.
Pass.
What country is home to the city of Vienna?
Seriously?
Jeez.
Switzerland?
Kyle, Brust, and Nordman. Presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
There's no chill on the deals at Metro Ford of Madison. Right now, get into a 2025 Ford F-150 with 2.9% APR for up to 66 months plus $2,000 retail bonus cash. Looking for something sporty? Check out the 2025 Ford Bronco Sport with 3.9% APR up to 66 months, $2,500 bonus cash. Or lease for $319 a month with $38.49 due at signing. But hurry, offer ends February 2nd. Visit MetroFordofMadison.com.
Pro Volleyball is back in Madison. The 2026 Love Madison schedule is here. Setter of the Year Lauren Carlini and hometown favorite Claire Chausset return to the court, ready to lead a powerhouse lineup of world-class talent. Get ready for non-stop action. Every serve, every volley, and every win, right here in Madison. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the unforgettable moments all season long. Visit LOVB.com to check out the full schedule and secure your seats today. Volleyball is the next major league.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offer the Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
We're on the Packers.
It's never been about beating the Bears or the Vikings. It's about winning a championship.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
There is an intensity deficit, and there won't be now. Those days are gone.
You're listening to 100.5 ESPN.
Final segment of the season, the Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Who knows how this is going to end? It could be a big cliffhanger that we end going into our next season here. What are you guys chuckling about?
Oh, Riley did an unbelievable Trump impersonation.
That's great. Riley Yelk is just having a night back in
Thank
the
you, everybody. The best show. It's a fantastic show. Love Derek. Love Tarek. Do the best. My favorite people. Thank you.
Oh, that's fantastic. I am so glad we saved that for the final segment of the season.
Right,
Let me tell you, we need a 6-month break after that. All right. So here's one thing I wanted to ask you guys about. The Packers have a new vacancy at defensive coordinator. Jeff Hafley is the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. There is a name circulating around the NFL that is an intriguing one, looking to become a defensive coordinator. I don't know if you've heard of Jim Leonard. Currently the assistant head coach, and he's a defensive assistant with the Denver Broncos. So here's the situation. Vance Joseph is the defensive coordinator of the Broncos. He was the D coordinator, became the head coach of the Broncos, didn't go well. He went back to being the D coordinator when Sean Payton came in, and it's been great. If he leaves to become a head coach elsewhere, it's expected that Leonard would get promoted to be the defensive coordinator in Denver. If Vance Joseph stays in Denver, Jim Leonard may look for other opportunities, including one that could exist for the Ravens, where he played, or
what about the
Green
Cowboys?
The Cowboys was one that he interviewed for already, yes. The Green Bay Packers, could be intriguing to him. Now, there's a wrinkle there. First, let's talk about – so the wrinkle is a couple of years ago when they hired Jeff Hafley, Jim Leonard did speak with Matt LaFleur about the job and coming onto the staff. He kind of snubbed him and said, no, I'm not really interested. And then that's how they ended up hiring other people. And so the question is, would Matt LaFleur hold any kind of a grudge after he got snubbed by Jim Leonard the first time around? And that's how they ended up with, I think it was Joe Barry got hired, and we know how that went for the Packers. Not great on defense. Would he hold a grudge and say, I'm not interested in bringing that guy in for an interview because he kind of snubbed me last time, rubbed me the wrong way by leading me on? Or would you bury that hatchet and say, this is the best candidate, this is a guy who wants to be here, let's bring him in, we know he's good at this?
Well, I'd definitely bring Jimmy Leonard in. You know what I mean? He's the dude, man. He's done a great job with that secondary in Denver. His whole career's been a success. And, if LaFleur doesn't spend so much time waxing his eyebrows, spend more time just working on coaching, and he'll make the right decision.
There it is. We're letting it all fly here in the final segment. Derek?
Yeah, I think
more bells.
Well,
there you go. Ring that bell, Donald.
I think Green Bay's got all the leverage, because they know that Jim would be back here in a second because of his family. It's a lot easier to drive 2.5 hours or whatever it is to Madison, Cross Plains, versus being out in Denver, and that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. So they have the leverage there. Whether or not you pose an interesting question on LaFleur maybe having some type of, I don't know how that all went down or what went down.
And I don't know if all of us know the specifics.
We don't really know.
But we just know he interviewed, and that's the guy they wanted, and didn't work out.
If you're a good head coach, you don't give a. I mean, you look at who's the best candidate and who would be the best fit for your team. I'm not worried about it was a bad timing for him a few years back or whatever. I mean, that's just me.
Well, I know a head coach we could ask about that decision-making process. Coach, how would you look at that if you're Matt LaFleur with the Packers?
If I'm Matt LaFleur, I'd go get the best coach I could get, and that's Jimmy Leonard. I think everybody's recognized his ability. They respect what he's accomplished, his knowledge. If you can get Jimmy Leonard, they need to go get him.
I like it.
Yeah,
that fires me up. Yeah, okay, let's do it.
End of story.
All right.
That is how we close the chapter on the Barry Alvarez Show here for the 2025 college football
You got
season.
LaFleur's number? Text it to Coach.
And I know how I can get it
and
to
the
him.
deal will be done.
I know how I can get it to
by
him.
the time we get our steak.
All right, so that's it. That's it for the season. And if I may just share a word or two here as we get set to go, this has been an amazing ride this year. So we started the season out at a golf outing in August. I said it would be my job this year to make sure that we cover the team, the Wisconsin Badgers, and college football as a whole fairly, and that we provide the proper critique, and that we provide the right insights that you, all three of you, can uniquely provide. Coach Alvarez especially, with his name being on this show and you guys being a large part of this as well. I think we did that this year. I'm really proud of what we have done throughout the course of this season.
It seems like yesterday we were moving from outside at Nakoma for the Gilda's Club.
Oh, yeah.
For the Gilda's Club golf outing to inside.
Uh-huh.
That
Time
seems like yesterday.
But, between coming out here to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, car rides down to the Hard Rock Casino Rockford, and everything in between, this was a really
I hope we've done a nice job. I hope we've done a good job of informing our listeners, giving them some insight, our insight and our opinions of what's going on. And we've been very honest and open with it. And so I hope they appreciate it.
I hope they do. I think they do, and I appreciate you guys for providing that honesty throughout the course of the season.
I'm waiting
as
for
well.
my report card from the athletic department, so we'll see how we did.
And Jesse,
had to say it.
Thank you for everything you've done, man.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thanks.
I don't give you too much praise, but I'll do it this time.
This has been a ton of fun. I appreciate
I'm
you
getting
guys
emotional
welcoming
right
me.
now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that means he's getting thirsty. So we're gonna go over
There
to the
you
bar.
go, and hungry.
But for Tarek, for Derek, Coach Alvarez, it's been a pleasure all season long. Look forward to doing it again next year. My name is Jesse Nelson,
fired up.
and
Let's
this has
go.
been the Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison. We'll see you in the offseason sometime.
The biggest games,
Back-to-back state championships. Still going, lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
the most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball?